On this week's show, we celebrate the 50-year history of the Liberty football program.
From the humblest of beginnings to the big stage of the FBS, we relive some of the most important plays, players, and moments from the past 5 decades. It all starts now on this edition of Flame Central.
Welcome into Flame Central, your home for all things Liberty Athletics, and today we're doing the near impossible. We are cramming 5 decades of Flames football into the next 30 minutes.
Look, people, it wasn't easy, but we found a way. That also kind of sums up the history of Liberty football. There were many challenges throughout the years, but somehow the program kept moving forward.
Yeah, from small beginnings all the way to a Fiesta Bowl. But let's get it right back to the start, right? Here's a look at the first decade of Flames football. Once upon a time, there was an empty field on the edge of town. It had a few rundown buildings and groundhogs. But one man, Dr. Jerry Falwell, saw in this barrenness the potential for a thriving football program.
It's our plan to have our athletic program comparable to USC, to Notre Dame, to Alabama, to anybody in time.
One day, he was overlooking this vacant terrain with U.S. Naval Academy assistant coach Rock Royer, explaining his vision. Rock's son Timothy was there and remembers this moment.
They could see it. It was really crazy. My dad would be like, yeah, we're gonna put the practice field there, then we'll have a stadium over here. And Jerry's like, and then we'll have this here and this here. And I'm a little kid, I can't see that. All I see is what's in front of me, and what's in front of me doesn't make any sense.
When God gives a man a vision, making sense is not a requirement. But what is required is that others catch that vision and work to make it a reality. Rock Royer would be the first to capture the dream, and Liberty football's journey began. That first year, there were few facilities. Practice was held on an island in the middle of the James River. Some players even had to bring their own equipment.
Very first spring, they actually invited anybody that wanted to play. We had guys that had never put equipment on. In fact, we didn't even have equipment. I had to use my high school helmet that I played in because we didn't have any helmets.
Despite the challenges, that first year ended with 3 straight victories, and excitement for the new sport was growing. That is, until tragedy would strike the fledgling program.
It's been a very sad week for us here. Most of you know by now that our head football coach at Lynchburg Baptist College, Rock Royer, was killed in a plane crash this week.
In the wake of the tragedy, Liberty would turn to John Cartwright, a seminary student who had been working on Royer's staff.
That day, Dr. Falwell called me and asked me if I would be the head coach. And I said that I would.
The heartbreaking news shook the campus, but it would not deter the mission. John Cartwright had played quarterback at the U.S. Naval Academy and broke a number of Roger Staubach's records. In his first year, Cartwright would lead the team to its first winning season with a 5-4 record. Then in 1975, Liberty sports teams got a new look. The school colors had been green and yellow in honor of Dr. Falwell's favorite team, the Green Bay Packers. But when Lynchburg Baptist College was renamed to Liberty Baptist College, the school colors were changed to red, white, and blue. In 1977, John Cartwright would finish seminary and move to Philadelphia to start a church. Tom Dowling was selected as Liberty's 3rd head football coach. Under Coach Dowling's leadership, the program achieved many firsts. In 1979, tight end Steve Kearns was drafted by the British Columbia Lions of the Canadian Football League, becoming the first Liberty player in the professional ranks. The next year, Glenn Inverso signed a free agent contract with the New York Jets to become the first Flame in the National Football League. The Flames joined the NCAA Division II as an associate member, and the program defeated its first NCAA Division I opponent, defeating Morehead State 23-20. They ended the decade in 1982 with a record of 7-4 and a national ranking of 19th in the final NAIA poll. From nothing to a national ranking, Liberty football's first decade had set the table for a promising future.
Wow, Matt, what a gift God gave to Dr. Falwell. You know, a vision is one thing, but he actually believed. He knew exactly where the practice field, where the stadium would be, and it's just so surreal to have our feet on ground here at Liberty University in these amazing facilities today.
Not only that, you think about how the program persevered. You lose your head coach tragically after year one. You wouldn't have blamed them if they shut the whole thing down, but they kept pushing forward, and obviously God was faithful through all of that tragedy early on.
Yeah, and we now turn our focus to the second decade. It was a time of growth for the program that saw players reaching the NFL, but it also featured a natural disaster that everyone's still talking about to this day.
As the second decade of Liberty football began in 1983, Liberty Baptist became a full-fledged member of the NCAA Division II. Then on May 30th, 1984, Morgan Hout was tabbed as the fourth head football coach in program history. His tenure would be marked by both triumph and testing. Wide receiver Fred Banks became Liberty's first ever NFL draftee, selected by Cleveland in the 8th round of the 1985 draft. That fall, the Flames defeated in-state foe James Madison for the very first time. But then came November 6th, 1985, and with it, the unthinkable. The remnants of Hurricane Juan had inundated Lynchburg, Virginia. The James River crested at 20 feet above flood stage. Treasure Island didn't stand a chance. The football building was not spared from the devastation. As Coach Morgan Hout surveyed the damage, reality quickly set in.
I tell you, it was really worse when I saw it than what I thought it could ever be, and I thought it could be pretty bad. I really don't believe that any of it is salvageable. I really don't. I would not put a young man in that equipment.
Which meant that Coach Hout had to tell the team the heartbreaking news. The 1985 season was over. Still, the determination to move on was strong.
We're by no stretch of the imagination down or discouraged. We just feel like the Lord's going to use this as a stepping stone, and we're excited.
And that excitement was rekindled when Kelvin Edwards was selected by the New Orleans Saints in the 4th round of the 1986 NFL Draft. Also in 1986, Wayne Haddix was named Liberty's first All-American. He would end up in the NFL, playing in the Pro Bowl in 1990 while a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In 1988, the Flames joined Division I AA. They proved that they belonged there by ending the first season with a national ranking of number 20. Then, just before Christmas of 1988, the program would turn to the NFL for its 5th head football coach. Sam Rutigliano, 1980 NFL Coach of the Year with the Cleveland Browns, took over the reins after being away from coaching for a few seasons. When Coach Sam got to Lynchburg, he was pleasantly surprised by a diamond in the rough in the form of tight end Eric Green. Green was instrumental in Liberty's first FBS victory, catching the winning touchdown to beat Eastern Michigan. Green became the first Liberty player to go in the 1st round of the NFL Draft as the 21st overall pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Donald Smith joined Green that year, selected in the 10th round by Minnesota. But perhaps the most important event of the second decade was the construction of an on-campus stadium in 1989. The 12,000-seat facility opened as a crowd of 12,750 watched the Flames defeat Towson State 38-17. This would be the first baby step towards the state-of-the-art facilities that we see today. Coming up, we continue our journey through the 50-year history of Liberty football.
From a major lawsuit off the field to some huge wins on it. See how LU rose to prominence on the gridiron when Flame Central returns.
The Liberty University Chevrolet was awesome. Here comes a big push to the 24 and the inside lane.
And William Byron comes off turn 4 to win.
Hey, welcome back to Flame Central. On this week's show, we're taking a look back at the 50-year history of Liberty football. Up next, decade number 3. It would feature excellence on the field, but also a major victory off of it. The spotlight would shine on Liberty football during its third decade, both on and off the field. In 1994, the football stadium was rechristened Williams Stadium in honor of longtime supporters of Flames athletics, Art and Angela Williams. Then came 1995, the year everyone learned what Liberty University was all about. The college football world focused its attention on Lynchburg, Virginia, but not because the Flames sported an 8-3 record in a national ranking of number 19. The notoriety came from the courtroom, where the team took a stand for God. The NCAA was attempting to curb unsportsmanlike conduct in college football, and they handed down a ruling that Sam Ritigliano felt flew in the face of Christian athletes everywhere.
A lot of our players, after a touchdown, kneel in the end zone and for a few seconds give the glory to God. On Saturday, the official, which comes to us every year, told us very clearly that if we were to do that, we would immediately be stuck with a 15-yard penalty. And so we decided as a team, we were all 100% together, that nobody could tell us that we couldn't honor God.
Just prior to the season, Liberty would take legal action against the NCAA over this issue. And a day later, the NCAA would reverse its ruling. Kneeling in the end zone would no longer be penalized.
We're going to kneel tomorrow night as we've done in the past. And we're going to pray as we've done in the past. But we're not going to get a 15-yard penalty.
Meanwhile, back on the field, success continued. In 1997, the Flames led the nation in forced turnovers with 40 and ranked second nationally in turnover margin. That next year, linebacker Jesse Riley became the first Flame honored as a first-team All-American by the Associated Press. Also in 98, former Flame Dwayne Carswell, serving as the captain of the Denver Broncos special teams unit, became the first Liberty football player to play in and win a Super Bowl. Then in January of 2000, there would be a changing of the guard, as head coach Sam Ritigliano announced his retirement. He left Liberty as the program's winningest coach with 67 victories. Former NFL quarterback Ken Karcher became Liberty's sixth head football coach on February 18th of 2000. During his tenure, football would join Liberty's other sports in the Big South Conference. The Big South would be Liberty's home for the next 16 years as the Flames continued their ascension in the world of college football.
Just want to take a moment to thank and give a shout out to our producer, Ken Toast. These have been some pretty cool features to look back on the history of Flames football. But this particular decade, Coach Sam taking a bold, courageous move, and it really reflects what the mission of this university is.
Yeah, and it's not like Liberty football was Alabama or Ohio State, right? They didn't have a lot of clout at that point. They were still a small program, so they kind of went alone on this, stood boldly for what Liberty is all about, and, you know, it's made an impact around college football for years after that.
Still feeling the impact of that today. All right, we move on now to the fourth decade of Flames football, as upgrades on the field helped Liberty take a huge step toward competing at the highest level.
The fourth decade of Flames football would be an historic one, and it began by them posting their first ever conference winning record in 2003. Then, on December 2nd, 2005, Danny Rocco was chosen as Liberty's 7th head football coach. He was greeted by the opening of a brand new football operations center just prior to the 2006 season.
This is a state-of-the-art facility. I think student athletes are coming in here and they're realizing that Liberty University has taken football for serious and that they're committed to this program, and it's allowing us to move forward and have success in recruiting.
And the Flames would reap the benefits. In 2007, LU went undefeated both at home and in the conference, capturing their first of 4 straight Big South titles. The 2008 season would end with a dominating 26-3 victory over number 12 Elon. This was the highest-ranked FCS opponent ever defeated by the Flames at the time and capped off the first 10-win season in program history. They appeared in the polls for 10 straight weeks that year, finishing at number 14. One standout player on that 2008 squad was senior running back Rashad Jennings. He finished the year with 1,500 yards rushing and 17 touchdowns. His senior performance propelled Jennings to an 8th place finish in the Walter Payton Award voting, which honored the best FCS player in the nation. And he was a consensus All-American, being named to numerous first-team squads. Jennings would then be selected by Jacksonville in the 7th round of the 2009 NFL Draft. While all this was happening on the field, Williams Stadium received some love just prior to the 2009 season. A 3-phase expansion to 30,000 seats was announced. The first phase, to be completed in time for the 2010 season, included the addition of 7,700 seats and the construction of a 5-story state-of-the-art tower on the west side of the stadium. The first home game in the newly renovated stadium exceeded capacity as over 19,000 fans watched Liberty dismantle Savannah State. On September 10th of that year, a late defensive stop secured a 27-23 win over Ball State, marking the program's second ever victory over an FBS program.
There's a snap, short drop, fire. It's going to be incomplete. Ball is loose, and it's Liberty's going to recover and win this game.
A blowout of Kentucky Wesleyan on October 1st, 2011, secured Liberty's 200th program victory. And then later that year, on December 14th, the Flames turned to former Nebraska quarterback Turner Gill as their 8th head football coach.
I am thrilled to help fulfill Dr. Jerry Falwell's vision of advancing Christ-centered university to excellence in this football program as well as all the athletic programs.
It was at that press conference that Liberty announced its intention to conduct an FBS feasibility study, and the following year, the move was made official. Liberty University would seek a conference home in the FBS.
I have talked to some people who have been gone to FBS schools. Why you didn't choose Liberty University? They're Christians and all that, and say because you don't play at the top level. And so now we can squash that. Now we're going to play at the top level, and we'll be able to get our share of top-rated players across the country.
The Flames were now primed for the next step, a confident launch into the upper echelons of college football. Still to come, we continue our celebration of the 50 years of Liberty football.
Up next, the 5th decade, which saw a championship and the move to college football's highest level. That's all when Flame Central returns.
Welcome back to Flames Central. Today we've been taking you through the 50-year history of Flames football, and we've come to the 5th decade.
Which was just another vital checkpoint on the way to the success they're experiencing now.
While much of the attention was focused on Liberty football's move up, the Flames weren't quite done with the FCS just yet.
This could be the defining moment. Here we go. 24-yard field goal at the 14-yard line. Oh! It's blocked! Liberty is going to win! Liberty, champions of the Big South!
That blocked field goal against undefeated and number 1 ranked Coastal Carolina sent the Flames to the postseason for the first time in their history. They would go on to defeat James Madison in the FCS playoffs, marking their first ever postseason victory. The following year, on November 19, 2015, the Flames played before a national television audience for the first time, and they hosted and once again defeated Coastal Carolina. During that game, Liberty announced its plans to build an indoor practice facility.
It was huge in the sense that they're showing now that the administration is committed to football. When they decided to build an indoor facility, that says a whole lot. It's just not talk.
Then came February 16th, 2017, and the long-awaited announcement. The NCAA approved Liberty football's 2-year reclassification to the FBS as an independent, an achievement 45 years in the making. The first contest at this highest level of college football would be against in-state foe Old Dominion in 2018.
Inside the 10 to the house! Welcome to the FBS!
Then on December 1st, 2018, Hugh Freeze would become the program's 9th head coach. During Freeze's tenure, the Flames proved that they belonged. They became just the 3rd team in FBS history to win a bowl game in their first year of bowl eligibility, defeating Georgia Southern in the 2019 Cure Bowl. 2020 would witness the rise of Malik Willis. The transfer quarterback was a human highlight reel, both with his arm and his legs. With Malik at the helm, the Flames entered the rarefied atmosphere of the Power 5 with its first win over an ACC opponent at Syracuse on October 7th, 2020.
Willis keeps it and takes it into the end zone for the touchdown.
3 weeks later, they would do it again, this time at Virginia Tech.
From 51 out for the win. Snap, spot, kick, has the leg. It is good!
The Flames would break into the AP rankings that season, finishing at number 17. Then it was on to their 2nd straight bowl victory, an overtime thriller against old rival Coastal Carolina.
Snap, spot. Oh, it's blocked! The Flames have won! The Flames have won! And Liberty celebrates in Orlando. Hashtag beat Coastal!
In 2021, Liberty accepted an invitation to join Conference USA beginning in 2023, giving football an FBS conference home for the very first time.
Yeah, rock out with each other, man.
That season concluded with a 3rd straight bowl victory, this time over Eastern Michigan, making Liberty only the 2nd team in FBS history to win their first 3 bowl games. But while all this brought increasing levels of enthusiasm, Nothing could compare with October 22nd, 2022. Brigham Young entered a feverish Williams Stadium, fulfilling a vision that had been cast 50 years earlier.
I've been waiting on this one, dude!
This is a special moment in the history of this university and football program.
Running back is Lewis. He'll take it, he'll score.
Dancing at the 10, throws near side, it's going to be caught!
And Day Hunter has one man to beat, and he just beat him. Liberty has absolutely smothered the visitors. One of the biggest wins in program history.
And so Decade 5 came to an end with thousands of students storming onto what was once just an empty field, fulfilling the vision of a man who heard the roaring crowds in the silence of a gentle breeze, who saw a stadium rise up from ground that had not yet been broken, who enjoyed the victories of those who had not yet entered the arena, and who trusted in a God who would bring it all to pass.
So cool to see all of that. Such a rich history for the Liberty football program. And oh, by the way, the 6th decade started with a trip to the Fiesta Bowl. Not too shabby.
Yeah, pretty cool. And it's safe to say the future of Flames football is pretty bright. Thanks so much for tuning in. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you next week.